The USA, the most important car market in the world. Shaken by high oil prices and then the financial crisis, it's in a state of flux. Petrol-guzzling monsters are out, new options, economical and ecological ones, are in demand.
I'm going green.
Everything efficient is better.
I guess the world's run out of fuel, so I gotta start thinking.
Everybody that's buying cars now seems to be looking for cars that get good mileage.
The German car manufacturers are the first to rely on new diesel technology, like Audi, for example, with the so-called clean diesel, which offers many advantages here. But diesel is not very common in the USA and has some prejudices to fight.
Well, I don't know that much about it.
I don't really know. Like, I've heard of diesel, but isn't that what goes in like big trucks?
Well, it used to be noisy and stinky.
I always thought it was dirty, and it's loud.
My dad had an old diesel back in the late 80s.
The sins of a few car manufacturers in the 80s are to blame for the poor image. Nonetheless, the Germans are relying on the modern diesel, which is cleaner and more economical than a petrol engine. Many people have said that these strict emission standards will bring the diesel era to an end. We've proved that with a diesel engine you can still meet all the environmental laws, even in the strictest in the world, which California has. And I think that's what's revolutionary about it. But the success has cost blood, sweat and tears. Audi's unusual endurance test is a plan to enlighten the Americans about diesel engines and increase their popularity. 23 cars with the new TDI technology will cross the continent together. It's a competition. 184 journalists from around the world compete for the lowest consumption at the highest average speeds. The marathon will last for over 7,800 kilometers and cross 17 states. Among the cars in the group is the new Q7 with its ultra-low emission system, the cleanest diesel in the world. An independent adjudicator oversees the analysis of the consumption data.
46.7 miles per gallon.
Overall, we were very impressed with the results. A lot of different cars throughout the entire range, from the Q7s, Q5s, all had very high numbers. The A4s, everybody was able to return some very impressive mileage.
They progress easily through widely differing countryside and cities. The participants test their engines under real-life American conditions.
So far, it's great. The engine is pretty quiet.
You can't tell it's a diesel at all. There's no engine clatter, there's no shake.
They have a lot of torque, and that's what makes them interesting, because they are very peppy.
We actually got stopped when we were at a rest stop by a person who was like, "What are you driving? What is this?" And when we told him it was diesel, he was really excited.
It's all about downsizing now in the USA. No one wants big cars anymore. They're becoming cheaper as small cars become correspondingly more expensive. The convoy also includes hybrid cars. These have advantages in cities, particularly with stop-and-go traffic. But even here, the clean diesel can hold its own very well. It particularly has the edge on intercity stretches, and it has one more advantage over the hybrids.
Americans like big cars, and they're giving those up begrudgingly. It's difficult for them to let go of those vehicles, because that is the openness, the lifestyle of the families in the U.S. It almost dictates having a larger vehicle. So this allows Americans to have their large vehicle, but yet feel good about the vehicle that they're driving.
Before, diesel fuel was poor quality and therefore dirty. Not until the introduction of a new low-sulfur fuel did the new diesel technology become possible. With the help of an additive, AdBlue, a urea solution, Audi was able to reduce the nitrogen oxide emissions by 90%. But precisely where diesel would be most useful, namely in the countryside, the petrol stations are not equipped for it.
Do you have any diesel out here? Diesel? No? Do you know some gas station around here?
Not that I know of. We're not planning on getting diesel.
When you can find diesel, it's heavily taxed and costs up to $1 per gallon more than ordinary petrol. This is a political issue.
If we want to do something for the environment, support this technology. Lower the tax on diesel fuel. if you want to support America's national strategic independence on imported oil, embrace this technology, lower the tax on diesel fuel.
Audi's flagship, the Q7 clean diesel, hit the US market at the beginning of 2009. If it succeeds, other models will follow. And it's looking good. Market researchers are estimating that by 2015, new vehicle registrations in the USA for diesel cars will triple. The Audi Mileage Marathon will help contribute to that. The event was well received by the participants.
Well, I didn't expect how much fun it could be to be in a fuel economy competition.
And it's fascinating to watch the Germans, the French, whoever, the Colombians, learn about America as we cross it.
Friendly competition, but at the same time conveying information to our consumers. We put both of that together, I think it's a win-win situation.
For the engineers, the marathon hasn't yet come to an end. One last time they collect the consumption data for the cars. The average consumption on this stretch and over the whole journey time was 8.5 litres per 100 kilometres for the Q7 and 7.4 litres per 100 kilometres for the Q5. The A4 used 6.5 litres and the A3 used just 5.3 litres per 100 kilometres. And if you convert that to the whole journey time of 93 hours, you can imagine the figure is valid for every conceivable kind of road. The first mileage marathon is over. It will surely take a few more of such events to convince the Americans about the new diesel technology. But the clean diesel offensive looks as though its chances of success are not bad at all.